Being good at something, it just means that you have been doing that long enough for you to stop making very obvious mistakes. It doesn't mean that it's yours. I want to start with something that I've been sitting on for a while. I was pretty good at my job. And I guess for the longest time, I've confused that with being right. Because surely, if you're good at something, you're meant to be doing it. And that's what we keep telling ourselves. But it's also completely wrong. Being good at something, it just means that you have been doing that long enough for you to stop making very obvious mistakes. It doesn't mean that it's yours. I figured that out later than I should have, which is completely fine. I guess most women don't even figure it out at all. And here's something that I noticed about women in their 30s. When you ask them what they do, when you ask them who they are, she will tell you what she does. I guess not always, but it's often enough for you to form a sort of pattern. I'm a manager, I'm in finance, I'm in the global team, I'm with the regional team. And I'm not saying that is wrong. But I guess at some point, and nobody marks that moment, the job sort of stopped becoming something that you love, but something that you have become. The title would have moved in and taken up most of the space. And everything else, the things that you were before the job, they started to fill in the smaller space available. The hobbies that used to restore you, they started to become something that you will get back to soon. The version of you that was just fun, not performing, not producing, not managing, just fun. She's still around. She just hasn't had that much of an airtime lately. Now, what's strange is that it doesn't really feel like a loss, at least not while it's happening. It just feels like being very busy, being responsible, being good at your job, which you are. So the loss only show up later in smaller ways, in the gap between who you are at work and who you are when nobody is watching. Now, I want to describe something that I don't think has a name. It's not really burnout. Burnout sounds so dramatic. This is much quieter than that. It's that feeling of performing a version of yourself that was actually accurate at one point of time, but it has slowly and increasingly felt slightly off. It's like you're wearing an outfit that used to fit perfectly, and now it just fits. I mean, technically. But you keep adjusting it throughout the day. You're still delivering, you're still showing up, and you're still being the person that everyone expects you to be. But I guess something underneath it is running a whole different temperature. It's a little bit cooler, and it's a little bit further away from yourself. And the strangest thing is that you can completely function normally, just like that. And that is what makes it so easy to miss. There is no crisis, there is no breaking point. And there is absolutely nothing for you to point and say, there it is. That's when I changed. It's just a very slow, quiet drift from the version of you that felt like you to the version that performs like you. And really, eventually, you just stop noticing the difference. And I guess that to me, it might just be the most unsettling part. And now here's the thing that I couldn't say for years. Being good at something, it doesn't mean that you have to do it. And I know how obvious that sounds. But I guess I operated like competence was really an obligation. And I behaved as if leaving would mean that all these years would have meant nothing. It's like the person that I've worked so hard to become would have been betrayed if I had just walked away. And I guess there's also something else. It's the kind of loyalty to the version of yourself that you have built in your 20s. That woman, she has worked hard. She has sacrificed things, hours, nights, evenings, weekends. And now she's got the job, she's got the title, she's in that salary bracket. And all of a sudden, just changing direction, it just tells that version of you that it's not worth it. It was though. It just prepared you for something that is different from what you have expected. The skills were real. The experiences were real. That decade, it wasn't wasted. It wasn't simply the destination. It was also the journey there. It was also the preparation. And some of us, the ones that get honest enough or quiet enough to hear it, eventually just figure it out. Now, I want to be careful here because I don't want to make leaving sound like an answer. It's not. Leaving, it just changes the noise. The internal questions, the ones that you've been deferring the answers to, they're still there. They just got louder when the schedule started to drown them out. Now, what do I actually like? Not what I'm good at. What do I actually like? What makes me feel like myself? What do I do when I wasn't trying to prove myself to anyone? Because most of us have been performing this version of ourselves for so long that we genuinely lost track of the underperforming ones. The one who exists when nobody was measuring. And now I find her in small moments. The morning when I woke up without an alarm and I just laid there, not performing rest, not forcing myself to rest. I really just lied there, actually resting. Or the afternoon that I sat with my daughter and my mind wasn't mentally like 3 meetings ahead. Or, just today where I ate lunch and I just sat there and really tasted my food. Actually eating. To you, that may sound like nothing. But for a really long time, I ate lunch like it was just another task to be checked off my to-do list. Really small things, but it felt like I was finding pieces of things that I didn't even know that I have lost. So now I keep coming back to one question, and I don't think I'm going to resolve it soon because I don't think it can be resolved so quickly. Question: what would you build if you were building it for yourself? Not for your family, not because it was practical, and especially not to prove to someone who probably isn't even watching anyway, or yourself. I think most women have never actually sat down with that question long enough to actually hear the answer. We're all very, very good at building things for others, but somehow we're very uncomfortable at building things for ourselves. I guess that's because it actually requires you to believe in what you're building. I guess because it requires believing that what you want is worth building it for. And that, I guess, is what is the hardest part for a lot of women out there. Not the doing, the believing. I'm working on it, and I'll see you next week. This is the Brief Life.